Hello class, and welcome to another episode of my series, where I teach you what I've learned about GTA Vice City in my over 10,000 hours speedrunning the game for my awesome viewers. Gay! So, you want to be the best Vice City player in the world, huh? Well, then don't watch this video. But I can certainly help you save at least half a second with my awesome tips and tricks. So, before we start, I wanna confess something to you guys. I have a small... Oh wait! Someone raised their hand? Yeah, Kozni? Any questions? Of course, buddy. You'll get a 50 in no time, even with a blindfold. So without further ado, let's get started. So, we're going to start with something really big. I would like you to learn one frame jury theory. Yes, one frame, but don't worry, it's super easy, and I will show you my reference, which is being really consistent for me. There's a few other references, but I haven't found them as consistent as this one. Now, one might argue, why bother learning one frame when you can get a 49 with the Molotov? Yes, you can get a 49 with the Molotov, but what is the point of doing something 30 seconds slower when you can be 30 seconds faster? It's not like one frame is any difficult to pull off, and with some practice you'll be able to do it almost every time, and it's only 5 minutes into the run. Also, reaching your first 50 with Molotov is way more difficult than spending 5 minutes of one frame practice before every session. So, my reference for this is actually very simple. Obviously you get a cop car at the start, or after Back Alley Brawl, by running some people over and getting 1 star here. Make sure to prolong the 100 level before you start the cutscene, just like running over some people here and hearing the police radio. So you prolong the 100 level so it doesn't expire here. That would be really bad. What I'm doing here is shooting, but I don't think it's necessary. It's actually really bad because you aggro or scare these people and they start fleeing off. And if someone is like here or behind you and starts sprinting this way, up here, he can bump into you and then he stun lock you, and yeah, you won't be able to get in the alley. So I would not recommend shooting here, but you run into the alley. I'm gonna actually show you the keybinds or the key inputs for this. You obviously wanna hold W and Shift, run like normal. Then you turn into the alley, still holding W and Shift. And as you see this cutscene, you release W, and you hold S and D, and still tapping sprint. And somewhere over here, as you see Lens here, you start shooting your pistol. So the cops in the alley get out of the car as soon as possible. As you start shooting, you wanna release Shift, and like, you can even stand there, like release everything and just shoot. If you keep holding D, then you get too deep into the alley, and you don't want that because because the cop car can knock you down. So as soon as you see Lens here, you start shooting, and you can let go of W and just like hold S or A, S and A, you know, just stand on the same spot. So we end up like here. And as you can see, if you shoot, the cop will get out faster, and then you can just push the car, get in the car, and yeah, drive off. So you get the car, you get the close icon. If you happen to be really slow here, like you get knocked down here, and you know if you pick up the close icon you will get the phone call, you can just get in the car start vigilante and vigilante off, so you prolong the phone call timer once again by 20 seconds. And now the reference. It is actually really simple. So what I do is switch to the third camera, and then you get out, and as soon as Tommy slams the door, watch his left foot. It's like in the front, or maybe in the air, I don't know. But as soon as he joins the right foot, like now, you just tap middle mouse button or caps lock or whatever your submission key is. And if you see the box on the top left and this green text, you know you did it properly. So once again, with full speed, third camera, get out, watch the foot. Foot joins the right one, boom. Nothing super hard. It's actually very easy. Boom. And you'll get it every time. I'm gonna show you like right now. So we'll switch to the third camera, get out, and then just tap submission. Boom. And easy. If you didn't see the box like right away, you can just walk into the marker. And if Tommy speaks, you know you did it. You know you did it properly. The time when you answer the phone call is when Tommy says more crap to wipe up. As soon as he says up, you just answer the phone call, and immediately start pressing F3. So you do the one frame, boom, walk into the marker. More crap to wipe up, boom, answer phone call. You start spamming F3, like constantly F3, 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 F3. Where are you now? And this should be the last voice line that is audible. But yeah, if you hear this line too, you know you answered the phone call too early. And if you happen to get the line here, you just press F1 to shorten the time he's standing there, because if Tommy stays here for too long, it just soft locks for some reason. I don't know the technical part about this, but yeah, you just soft lock. So you want to play replay, and to be safe you want to play replay for each new line that comes here. So there's a new line, F1. When it comes to driving, I've noticed you wiggle a lot with the bikes, especially on Riot or Treacherous Wine way back. Those are the two big examples. Also, you should comment a lot more. I'm gonna show you how to like do that and not being scared of it, because that makes a huge part of the run and of the time save. I'm gonna show you now and show you how to turn with the bikes. Okay, so the way turning works on the bikes, especially the PCJ, is when you're about to turn, most people use handbrake to like initiate the turn, but using a handbrake on such turn, on a such wide turn like this, it's pretty slow because it slows the bike down a bit. So the way you manage turns like this is to initiate the turn with the lean back, like this. So what I did here was I just lean back. This is the down arrow is my lean back button. So I press down, and you see the bike is still going really fast. So I didn't have to use the handbrake because handbrake slows you a lot. If the turn is like really sharp and you're going fast, then you can use the handbrake to start the turn. But if you're going such low speed like this after party, it doesn't really matter what the turn is. You basically always want to initiate the turn with lean back. So you lean back, and the rest of the turn you don't even have to. If the turn is like a bit sharper, you can keep tapping leaning backward. So you shorten the time that you cannot lean forward, because that's what That's how you lose time in the turns. So now I want to show you the problematic part of yours, which is the T-swine way back. I believe it's one of the hardest parts of the run for the most people, even the top runners. You want to do the lean back as well, so you just lean back here. You don't want to hit that pedestrian on the T-swine, but that's how it goes sometimes. You look back here, just line up between the lamp post or the light post and this tree. So I line up between them, look back, lean back here, so I land on the rear tire. And this turn is the same. You never use handbrake on these types of turns, because this turn is a pretty wide one, so you never want to use handbrake on this. You just lean back. If this car wasn't here, I wouldn't have to lean back again, but I leaned back twice here because of the Landstalker here that spawned here. So yeah, on this 90-degree one, you want to use the handbrake, but just a little tap. As you can see, I tapped just a little, like boom, nothing else. The rest of the way, you always want to lean back. I used the handbrake as well here because I was going on the grass, which is literally slippery in this game. Also, I was talking about more commitment. This is one of the examples. I saw you were going really slow here, really safe. The method for this is actually stop leaning forward, like, I don't know, 15 meters before the turn, and then you just lean back, and occasionally you can release W because that slows you down as well. When it comes to the wiggling I was talking about, if you're going straight with a PCJ or any bike really, you notice that if you turn too much, Tommy stops leaning forward, which obviously slows you down because you lose the time where you cannot lean forward. So just wiggle as least as possible. On turns like these, you just turn and lean back here to just shorten the time where Tommy cannot lean forward, and then just keep pressing lean forward. This is another turn with the lean back. Here. Here as well. Just a small lean back. Here as well. This is gonna be a handbrake turn because I'm going really fast. So you wanna slow down with S, and as you're turning, you wanna initiate the turn with a handbrake. Just a slight tap. The rest of the turn, lean back. Never a handbrake. If it's not a hairpin turn, like 180. And here, you just lean back. Now. This is another lean back turn. But yeah, just basically wiggle as least as possible. Commit more on the turns, especially on the treacherous swine one. I'm gonna show you this turn I was talking about. This is actually the key turn to get to the Cortez marker before the phone call comes in. Sometimes this curb can be a bitch and, you know, send you off to the space. But mostly it's pretty good. Even if there's traffic, I usually go on this sidewalk, or if there's a gap, I want to go as left as possible to, you know, get the best apex of the turn. If you're going on this sidewalk, you want to brake with S here a bit, or release W for a moment. But yeah, that's basically it. So when it comes to the flying, the only two things are you need to fly way lower than this, because the lower you fly, the least time you will spend landing. See, this is way too high. Me personally, I fly always below the bridge, but you don't really have to fly really that low. But this is too high. You can either go above, like really close to the bridge or really close below. When it comes to the landing, I will again showcase you how to properly do it, because first, this is really far away from the mansion. You preferably wanna land on this shadow here, so after the mission you have as the least travel distance as possible, because now you have to run like, you know, 3 seconds more because of this landing. So the way you properly wanna land a helicopter always, at all times, is you wanna slow down first, like really fast. You wanna do it by, as you can see, I started leaning back. So you lean back to slow down, and then you want to tap E or Q, depending on where you want the helicopter to turn. Here I started pressing or holding W again, because I wanted to go up a bit. Now I'm leaning forward to level the helicopter out, because it was leaning back too much. This landing I saw you had a problem with. So what I do here is just hold E and D. So the helicopter like tilts right and also turns right. Now the same thing as before, lean backwards, hold S with E to turn, and yeah, land it. Leaning backwards, S for going down, E to turn the helicopter the way I want it to, and yeah, just land really quick. Same again here, but it's with Q this time. Lean back, Q, S. This is the spot where you want to land before about. This is the closest you can be to the mansion before the helicopter despawns. You can recognize the zone by this shadow. If you park to the right side of it, you're fine. If you park on it or left side of the shadow of the palm tree, it's gonna disappear. So for movement, I mainly wanted to talk about faster replays, but I already have a tutorial for that, so I'm gonna link that in the description if you haven't seen. Also, you should practice swag jumps. The most important thing about swag jump is speed management. You always have to slow down to the speed where the bike is not gonna fall down after you jump out of it. But yeah, it's not something that I can like teach you. You just have to practice on yourself and just keep doing that until you're consistent with it. Also, you should do the swag Guardian and Juice replay in the garage on Dredger Swine. That is pretty cool and fast. Here, after Sir Yes Sir, you're way too focused on glitching cars. You should always prioritize getting to the helicopter before the phone call ends, because now you're losing like 2 seconds because of that one car, which was really not necessary. Also, you should implement pill slide into your run, yes. But for that you need to land the helicopter next to the shadow, so you're as close to the mansion as possible. You insta-answer the phone call, get the pill. Switch to the nades here, because after the nades is an Uzi, and switching into an Uzi is way better than switching from Uzi to an M4. And yeah, set up a slide, F1 to keep going with that slide, enter the marker, and do a pill slide. The only thing that is, I guess, more difficult or less consistent is the clipping. But as long as you keep moving your mouse left and right to, I don't have to because I clipped pretty fast, but if you cannot for some reason get into the mansion, you probably have a wrong angle, so like wiggling your mouse a bit should help. And then you kill the ass with an M60. You don't touch anything here, you just move your mouse because you set up the F1 sliding. After the mission you flicker mouse fast and try not to go down the stairs into the entrance. You wanna avoid that because if you do that, Tommy will keep sliding into the entrance and you would have to exit the mansion twice. So either you can crouch here or just move your mouse to the side like I did here. If done properly like this, this saves like 3 seconds, I believe, I think. So yeah, it's a really neat strat, worth doing. Also, what you should do, the nade strat here. I do the left side first, actually, and that has a reason. Because if you do the right side first and then the left side, the downside of that is that the left grenade sometimes doesn't land on the balcony here and bounces like of this ledge on the top, and it can knock you over when you run here to the escalator. So I just do the left windows first, then this one, and as you can see, it blew up properly because it blew these two windows, maybe even this one. But yeah, the grenade you want to aim like in the middle here, preferably. I think I do like full throw or maybe semi-full, so it doesn't bounce on the ledge here. And yeah, you just go up the escalators, blow up these 3 windows, these 2 and these 3, or 4 actually, because there's 2 down as well. And you continue as normal. Here you wanna run behind these brown tiles or the flooring. Crouch somewhere over here behind it. Crouch so they cannot stun lock you. Shoot the right windows first, flick to the left ones. Crouch cancel to get up faster. Switch to the nades, because the next weapon is the chainsaw. So you just push the car. If you are fast enough, you can even chainsaw the door off before the cutscene starts. But if not, you can just switch now and do it now. Chainsaw the door and warp. So, micro optimizations. There's a lot of them actually. So if you don't chainsaw the door off now, then you can do it after. While you're falling down, you switch to the chainsaw, press space and just chainsaw the door off. You need to play 4 replays here, so you skip the fade. Just like this. Also, whenever you want to enter a PCJ, do it from the front as much as possible, because it's faster than from the side. You don't really do it in no SSU, but it's doable at the start of Bekali Brawl. So right before Treacherous Swine, you should do the palm tree jump. Also crouch cancelling. You just press C and while holding shift, there's nothing really into it, or sprint I guess. You just hold sprint and press C whenever you're in this like falling or getting out of the bike animation. You press C and Tommy instantly is ready to sprint. Also used in the party and basically anywhere where you jump out of the bike. Here as well. Right after you drop down on this road, you should always look back to minimize the traffic on the road. It's better to learn it than having your runs die here for no reason, and just stick to the middle lane as much as possible. Another micro optimization is this replay. You wanna come to this corner, like here, slow down, so you drop like this, get out, and as you're getting in, you just record the replay. Also, faster gate zip, you slow down here for some reason. At this point, at the 20-second timer, you already have a phone call waiting for you. So if you were a bit faster, you wouldn't have lost like, yeah, 2 seconds. You answered at 22. Here you should play the replay. Actually, let me hear if you attempt to do it or not. No. Okay. Play the replay here. It's pretty free and you're able to move or drive the car after the mission. At this phase in Phnom Penh, you always want to use the replay to reload the gun here. It's really fast in this video. I reloaded here. Now. Yeah, it didn't even capture. I replay reloaded here, I guess. So I don't have to wait for the reload to happen, because if you're too slow here, then lens is gonna sway back, and there's no way you can kill these guys on the court. Here on Sir, yes sir, you want to chainsaw the door off, but I was talking about that already, and go this way. I don't know why did you not go there. It's just basically a faster route, like this. Also, something to keep in mind is triggering markers with ADSing your heavy gun. So whenever you know there's a trigger, you switch to the heavy gun. Basically any gun you can ADS with, aim down sight. You just insta-trigger the marker, or the trigger in this case. Also used in Copland. You can use it even here in Bar Brawl, at this marker. And yeah, throw the nades here. I think you do the M60 and nade here, but just throw 2 nades, since you have like 600 nades or something like that. I keep saying that my reference here is the best, because it is, simply. But yeah, you just crouch in the middle of the road here, like where the white line ends. So there's the white line, you crouch like here, somewhere over here. You can even crouch closer to the bikes, but I have to kill them really fast. You wanna kill the right guy first. I don't know why I killed the left guy here, but you wanna kill the right guy first, so the bike is the closest to you. And then you can just kill this guy. Yeah, I paid for it now, because I hesitated and I didn't know what to do. Yep. Insta answering phone calls is another of the micro mini optimizations. Whenever you know there's a phone call waiting for you, at this point I always hold the phone call button and immediately just instantly answer it. In Copland, you can use replays to despawn the barricades. I saw you doing that, but just a reminder that you can do that with the spike strips too. But that's a little bit dangerous, because if you glitch too many spikes, then the game tends to crash, because like the object memory or something overloads or whatever. So yeah, but it's not a problem in no SSU, since they only use the spike strip in Copland for a few minutes, and there's not a lot of them. Also, here, learn the line skill here to skip the second line. Saves like 3 seconds or 2. Pretty neat. Here you wanna do the rampage buy. I have a little bit of a reference here. I just double tap the buy button. So in case, in my case, it's tab. So I do like twice tap and then F3 after the second tap. So like this. And it works pretty much like 80%. Sometimes you can just get cycled, or you're just a little bit late or early. Yeah, but it's worth doing. You can save a few seconds. And if you don't get it, then it's not a huge deal. But I always recommend manuping the mission with the marker, because you don't have to waste the time running into the save icon. So yeah, if you don't get it, then probably do the mission marker manup. Also, I would always go for armor buy if I have, like, let's say maximum or a minimum of like 90 HP. If I have below 90, I would go for this armor. But if you know you wanna skip the armor, then always go for the taxi. If you know you don't want to skip the armor because your health is low, then never go for the taxi and pick up this armor, because it's way faster than picking up the second one. The first one loses like 1 second, I believe, but this one is way off where you're going. Also, I would highly recommend you to learn the swag warp, as I like to call that. You just basically, you have to go really fast for this bribe. So what I usually do is, like, I start breaking as soon as I enter the sand here. I hold S and space because on grass, in the rain, or on the sand here, with the PCJ you always wanna break with S and space. So I do S and space, pick up the bribe, and as soon as I pick it up, press F3. And while I'm warping, I hold WD, and as soon as I see I warped, I press S and D, so I do like this movement, and I end up in the marker. It's really cool and swag, and it's faster as well, so I would definitely recommend you to learn that. One of the major things, if you wanna go sub 50 or 51 and lower, is HTC fade skips. Each one of them saves 2 seconds, and in total 10 seconds, because you do 5 of them. And if you do them perfectly, then it's very satisfying as well. This is the first dupe. It is possible to get fade skip on the first dupe, but I don't know if I get it here. I barely didn't get it, but if you're fast enough, you can do the first one as well. You can hold the call here, get on the bike, and release it like now. Don't hold it for too long, because then you can end up being on mission 1 HTC if you're too fast, and you don't want that. In my case, I never hold a phone call here, just because I never really bothered. Didn't really have to. Crouch cancelling is very, very mandatory here, because it's fast, lets you get here on time. One thing to point out is that you need to know where to jump. You always want to jump on the left of the marker, never in the middle or on the right side, because that's very dangerous and you can end up in the buy icon zone and you won't trigger the phone call. Also, you're playing the replay here, which loses you time, because you obviously have to wait for the replay. You always want to play the replay when this woman says private business, you're not welcome, because if you play during the line, then you will not lose any time. So whenever a line is played, you want to play the replay so you don't lose time later. Also, there's a pretty new strat, or new, discovered like a year ago, I guess. Instead of answering the phone call here, instantly run like here, and then answer the phone call as soon as it rings, so you kill the woman with the plates way earlier. It saves like 6 seconds or 5, I think. So basically just wanna go here and jump, because this girl has a stabby shotgun, and then just answer the phone call now and kill the woman. Another minor thing is when you warp here, you just do the swag warp again, but with holding A and S instead, and just jump diagonally. So you trigger the marker, but end up in the buy marker zone, so it doesn't trigger the phone call. Also, you wanna start doing Doomer CTC, so basically just wanna set the bike on fire. Here on the second set, you wanna hit the bike once with an M4. And yeah, park it somewhere over here so we have enough speed to set the bike on fire with this wall. after this third set is done. You finish the mission and you set the bike on fire and drive as fast as possible. Somewhere over here is the area. If you were to die here, you would spawn in the downtown hospital. You don't want that. So basically, if you die here somewhere, you will end up in the little Havana. You answer the phone call, set up a slide, set up an F1 slide, and warp with sliding. And it doesn't really matter if you exit the mansion here. It's on a timer anyway. Now you record a close replay. Good tip here is to look at the timer instantly after you finish start the mission. So it was like 1:12 late or something. It's gonna change because you record a replay here. You get the chainsaw. And what I like to do now is to wait here to not get distracted on the road and focus on the timer. So I watch the timer here and also peripherally looking here to watch the text. So I watch the clock, boom, I see the text. It was like 2:12 something. It was like 2:12 mid 2:12. So I now know that in mid 3:12 I need to be there to trigger Sunny. Now I just kill Lance with the chainsaw. Now I'm waiting for the mid 3:12 and play the replay. And GG. So I got some final tips for you. Surely practice is the most important if you want to lower your time. The way you practice is mostly personal preference, but my personal preference is just practicing segments and timing it like it was a full run, and just keep getting goals, like time your segment from end of the shakedown to the end of the run, or you can do starfish practice, stuff like that. It's really helpful, and you can just keep track of which part of the game you are good with and which part of the game you need to practice more. That pairs with video comparing. Like if I know I'm doing something wrong but you're not really sure where or how, you can just take your video and compare it with someone who's above you on the leaderboards and just compare it like side by side and see what you're doing wrong. And yeah, then use it in the practice and you'll see you'll get better. Also, I've noticed you panic a lot. For example, sprinting, you tap sprint too fast. Like this. That is not good because Tommy gets tired very fast. The tapping rhythm for the sprint is like, you know, like faster jingle bells. The same with leaning forward. Like you lean forward like this, but it's useless. It just tires your finger. So again, you can do it like something like that. Also, I've noticed you didn't take the health before bar brawl, so definitely take health if you have time on the phone call. One last thing to note, which I forgot to put in the micro optimizations, but strafe more. I've noticed you use only your mouse to move on the boat on spilling the beans. It's pretty uncomfortable, and strafing just tiny bit faster because you can cut the corners a bit better, a bit faster. So yeah, that's all for me. Thank you for watching, and I hope this will help you somehow, and have a great day. Also guys, please stop using the Ruger in the run. It's not necessary and it's slower. Thank you. Have a great day. And Happy New Year, y'all.